Israel has as many unicorn exits as Europe. One Israel's worth all of Western Europe combined.
Hey everybody, welcome to JDE Extras. I'm Joshua Swanson. Recently on Jerusalem Dateline, we looked at Israel's booming economy, even in the midst of a war, and we spoke with entrepreneur and investor Michael Fertik, who said a renaissance is flourishing at this moment in technology and innovation. Our conversation was so insightful, especially his take on Israel's unicorns, which are billion-dollar startups, that we wanted to share the full interview. So from Tel Aviv, here it is. Michael, thank you so much for joining us on Jerusalem Dateline. It's an honor to have you.
And you, thank you very much.
All right, so I'm going to hit you with just some real quick questions because I want to get a baseline. So when did you first start investing in Israel?
2015, I started investing in Israel.
How many companies have you invested in Israel?
15 in Israel. Yeah.
All right, outside of founding Reputation.com, you have a VC firm. That firm is invested in how many companies?
About 65.
So that's a
large companies, 15 in Israel. So I only invest in the US and Israel. That's it.
That's a large percent of your portfolio that's here.
Yes, and intentionally so. I think Israel is going to be an enormously important part of any serious investor's portfolio, though I think it's also important to invest where else you can invest. For me, it's the United States. For someone else, it might be somewhere else, but for me, it's the US.
Excellent. All right, so I would say, given that reputation...
I also have employees here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a CEO of a company called Model Code, which has a subsidiary here. I have a team of 6 people here called Model Code Chai, which means Model Code Life.
Nice.
Wonderful AI engineers right here in Israel.
Okay, so you're a man that knows what's happening here in Israel.
In my bones.
Okay, so we always like to validate what the politicians say. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recently said that, hey, international investors, come to Israel, invest now, we're about to take off. Does that match with what you're seeing here on the ground?
This is the Cambrian Explosion moment of Israeli development and of the economy. Whatever your faith is, this is the moment when you're going to see a renaissance flourishing from this moment on, this day, this exact moment on, as you've never seen before in the history of Israel. Right now, if you balance them, if you take a weight of measures, Israel has as many unicorn exits as Europe. Okay? So one Israel's worth all of Western Europe combined. And so after America, maybe India, right where I don't play, but other people do, Israel's it. This is the action. If you're looking for Florence in the 21st century, you're sitting here. If you're looking for the future,
Florence looks very different, but I'm with you.
They have nicer churches than Tel Aviv, but they don't have nicer churches than Jerusalem.
That's right.
And I'll tell you something, this is where the innovation's happening, this is where the excitement's happening. Some of it's lighthearted innovation, some of it's very, very serious innovation, but this is it. This is the action.
Wow. Wow. Less than what, 9 million or less here in Israel, 350 plus million in the United States. But yet, what is that about? What is the secret sauce?
I'm a very public Zionist. I'm a very overt Zionist, but I don't invest here because I'm a Zionist. I invest here because I'm a capitalist. It's impossible for this people, this Israeli people, to do what they do without some help.
Yeah.
And I know it. It's not controversial. It's not controversial. It's fact. It's objectively observable. They do it every day with fewer resources, all the challenges and war and enemies and living in a jungle surrounded by a jungle of enemies.
Yep.
They do it. They persevere. And you either have to be on this train or you have to be a fool.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud to be on this train. I started investing in Israel 10 years ago. My first ever venture investment, I ended up with 1% of Sentinel-1 at the IPO, which is an amazing Israeli cyber company now public on the New York Stock Exchange. I can tell you something, I've been investing more and more and more over time. On October 7th, we all know that Israel came under savage attack from a group of people who are against civilization and everything we represent. And on October 9th, 2 days later, I was publicly announcing that I'm going to invest more in Israel. Now's the time to invest more. And so many wonderful companies have been founded, so many wonderful people have been building businesses. For the last 2 years, I've been talking to guys who are in Gaza on their personnel carriers from Zoom, in the middle of fighting, taking a pause, talking about their companies, talking about their developments. And now I see all around me, the offices are filling up. The guys are coming back from the battlefield. They're hiring more. They're concentrating all of the power that they accumulated during that knowledge creation time of conflict, where they develop more discipline, more technical insight, more insight about how the future is going to be developing and innovation, and they're bringing that to bear in their companies. Now is the best time. Last year was the best time, 2 years ago was the best time, 4 years ago was the best time, and now is an even better time.
Wow.
Now is the best time.
Well, let's double click on that, as Chamath says.
Yes, sure.
Let's double click on that concept of October 7th happens. October 9th, you're announcing you're doubling down, tripling down, you're reinvesting. But what were you expecting when you're looking at your quarterly earnings reports post October 7th? And what were your CEOs saying of the portfolio companies that you invested in terms of how they were going to navigate losing a huge percentage of their workforce to the reserves?
I'm the first money venture capitalist. What does that mean? I'm the first investor into your company. I want to be the first guy. Before your friends and family, before Uncle Maury comes in, I want to be there. So my cycles are 10 years long, 15 years long. If I'm looking at the quarterly report for next quarter, I might not be doing the wrong thing, but I'm not doing the right thing.
Okay.
Right? I have to look a decade ahead. We have to play to where the puck's going to be 10 years from now. And so there's always good news and bad news in venture. There's good news and bad news in California. It doesn't tend to be Hamas, the bad news. It tends to be other stuff, thank God. But we're always looking around the corner, around the corner, around the corner. And I'll tell you something, there is no population that's more resilient, more forward-thinking, more self-reliant, more optimistic, more relentlessly optimistic than Israelis. And they're doing it in the face of all this difficulty. People say, Michael, why do you keep doing it? People say, why do you keep investing? And I say, well, there's the reason on the ground, which is I'm here to make money. I'm a capitalist. There's also, there's a reason from up top. And we believe in both.
Okay, what does that intersection from up top to down below us here on the ground, what does that intersection look like as you're making your decisions? I understand you're a capitalist, so the numbers have to make sense. But there must be, given that you've referenced God several times already, there must be some sense of his influence on your decision making.
In my life, Hashem is everywhere, thank God. So I'll tell you something, as you can see, I'm not wearing a kippah. I'm not advertising a religious point of view right now. I keep it private when I keep it private. I keep it public when I keep it public. And also, by the way, I'm not investing in every Moshe, Dick, and Harry I find here in Israel. It has to be a special person, a special team with a special mission.
Yeah.
And yet, you can tell in your kishkis in Yiddish, in your guts, when you meet someone and they have that special something, there's a little bit of sprinkle dust on top. A little bit on top. You can see that in America too. But here it's everywhere. And by the way, it's not like what's the intersection? Oh, I noticed it. You have to look not for the intersection when you're here. And it's very, very hard to avoid the intersection, the nexus between these two marvelous things. I was here with my oldest son and our family in April of 2024 when the first hideous bombardment from Iran came.
Yeah.
And we were here right for his bar mitzvah. And almost immediately after his bar mitzvah came the bombardment. We were waiting and we heard the booms, then we saw the lights, and then the alarms came, and then we went down to the mamad, the safe room. And I was mostly worried that my kids were going to be worried, and they weren't. And I said, okay, wow, this kid decided to have his bar mitzvah, by the way, not my choice, in Jerusalem. If you say your prayers and you brush your teeth, you do all the things you want to do right, maybe God tells your kids to have his bar mitzvah in Jerusalem. That happened to me, thank God. And then he's got a younger brother, he's a little bit younger than he is. And I said, okay, maybe he's going to be scared. And guess what he told me about 2 months ago? He says, Dad, I want to have my bar mitzvah in Jerusalem too.
Wow.
So when I come here without my family, when I come here with my family, it's the same music and it's unavoidable. When I come to Tel Aviv, which is a little bit more hip, when I go to Jerusalem, which is, the real thing, it's the same music, and it's part of the business life here. It's part of the daily life here. It inspires innovation, undoubtedly. It inspires the resilience, undoubtedly. You don't get resilience just from breakfast. Not this level. You don't get resilience just from mom and dad, though that too. They have to get it from somewhere. You don't get it just from school. You don't get it just from the army. These people get it from everywhere.
Wow, great answer. AI.
I can spell AI.
Okay.
Yep. Artificial intelligence. Yep. I'm an AI guy.
All right. We're on the right track.
Yeah, we're on the right track. Yep. We're talking about the same thing. Artificial intelligence.
Okay, good. Artificial intelligence.
Yes. Yep. So for you and for your viewers,
yes,
I'm a founder CEO with exits in the field of AI, specifically the field of conversational AI, generative AI. I'm a big investor in generative AI and so forth. So this is very much what I do.
when looking at that sector and you compare Israeli innovation and Israeli ideas surrounding AI with what's happening in the US, where are we at?
Israel is extremely well set up to thrive and explode in the field of AI. And I'll give you a couple reasons why, just so it doesn't sound like it's just an impression. So everybody knows in the whole world that Israel is ground zero for cybersecurity.
Yes.
You talk about Israel, you talk about cybersecurity, you're talking about the same thing.
Yep.
And it turns out that understanding large amounts of quickly moving and dynamic data is critical to succeeding in combating cyber threats. Guess what? Understanding and comprehending and massaging large amounts of dynamic data is critical to creating value through AI in this new field called generative AI. So if you take a step back, not at 2 feet, but at 1,000 feet, AI is going to have a lot of the same parallel skill set requirements and excellence requirements as cyber. So already they're set up for success. Number two, AI has a lot of different forms and manifestations. One of them is robotics, physical AI.
Yeah.
Some is software coding AI. Here you have coming out of this terrible conflict where you had the requirement to tackle missiles from the air in real time from many directions in many theaters of operation simultaneously with threat vectors coming at different speeds and having to make a decision as to which missile you knock out, which one you let fall to the ground or to the sea. In circumstances of exigence, this is all something that requires enormous machine learning and compute.
Yeah.
And these guys are going to thrive. They have, also the Ukrainians, by the way, have an opportunity there, just to analogize. But here I think you're going to see a remarkable quality. Also, we will see very soon, you and I, we will see the first billion-dollar company that has 1, 2, or 3 employees.
Wow.
And you have here, if
1, 2, or 3 employees, and maybe 1 seed investor.
1 seed investor, 1 investor, period. Your lips to God's ears.
Yeah.
And we have here in Israel an extremely highly levered team, set of teams, right? You have people who know leverage. They understand that a small, excellent team can do what a large, less excellent team might be able to do somewhere else in the world. They don't have the body count. They don't have the numbers to throw bodies at a problem here in Israel. They don't have the budget. They have to be nimble. They have to be very, very quick on their feet. And they are. That's why you can see one of the great chip companies of the whole world being born right here. That's why you can see the great machine vision companies being born here. That's why you can see the great fintech companies being born here, because with 10 people, 100 people, 400 people, they can do what the other guys need 10 times or 20 times as many people to do. So that's another great reason AI is going to thrive here in Israel. And I think it's going to be US, Israel. You can maybe put China there, but China's a whole different ball of wax.
Yep.
All different kinds of things going on over there, complicating things. Here, Israel is going to thrive. And everyone in the whole world knows it, and they're all going to need it. And whether they talk out of one side of their mouths and say we don't like Israel, and the next side out of their mouths they say, yeah, but we want their agriculture tech.
Yep.
Yeah, but we need their robotics tech.
Yep.
Yeah, but we need their security tech.
Yeah,
we need their anti-missile tech.
Yep.
They do it. They know it. And everybody knows it. Even the people interviewing on TV who watch them give these contrary answers, they know the truth.
We met Elad, CEO of Next Silicon, where we're sitting today. You two sat in a room, and he must have had some of that sprinkle dust you were talking about on his head, because he didn't really even have a business plan, just an idea, and you invested. Why?
Elad Raz is one of the great Israelis alive today. He's extremely inventive. He's already had an exit as a founder CEO. He's going straight into the heart of darkness and one of the hardest problems technically in the whole world, which is supercompute. He and I met at a hotel, in the lounge of the hotel through a friend a few years ago. And he started talking, and 2 hours later, we looked at each other and we said, we got to work together. He told me for 2 hours, almost in one continuous sentence, his plan, his idea, why his technology would work. We didn't look at a single slide. I don't think he had a single slide. We didn't look at a single word of a business plan. I don't think he had a single word of a business plan.
Wow.
But he knew in his mind and was able to articulate exactly what he wanted to do and why. And I knew that I had to back him. So I was his first investor, first ever commitment. I'm proud to say I was able to help him get some of his later big investors from America. He's remarkable. He's a national hero. This concept of the chip war, this concept of the lifeblood of the economy of the West, of the East, of the global North, of the global South, comes down to chips.
Yeah.
We know this. We know this because rare earths are the battleground.
Yeah.
We know this because technologies that are required to build the chips, the wafers, are the battleground. ASML in Netherlands, the only company that can make the big fabs. Taiwan Semiconductor in Taiwan, the only company that can make the scale of chips that they make. These are the fulcrum points of the global strategic battle between the United States and China. And so here you have this prize fighter, Elad Raz, and this prize fighter, Next Silicon, entering that battle head first, and they're going to tip the scales in favor of the West, and I can't wait for that to happen.
How important is U.S. investment to the Israeli tech ecosystem?
I invest in Israel because Israel is one of the most investable places in the whole world. And I think it's the United States, Israel. Maybe you could do India if you're Indian or have Indian background, or Chinese if you're somehow connected to China. I do America and Israel because that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to be the compressed air in front of the tip of the spear of American investment in Israel, the Israel ecosystem. And I'm very glad that there are many other big investors who want to follow me and make other investments in the Israel ecosystem. I'm very glad that American LPs are finding their way into funds that focus on Israel or also have an Israeli focus. It's very exciting. And I think that will continue, and it only should continue. Look, the best part of capitalism is that it's a measurable yardstick and it's pretty objective. You're allowed to have your feelings, but your money doesn't. So if you want to make a good return, if you want to find the best innovation with the most resilient entrepreneurs, you can't avoid looking at Israel. Look, we know what we're supposed to do on one level. We know from Genesis 12, we know from Psalm 122, that if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed, that if you honor Jerusalem, you're doing the right thing. These are the right things to do. It's not why I invest in Israel. It's not enough. I also have to find a financial reason and a financial return for myself and my LPs and for my family. It's my job. And I also believe that the big guy wants us to be disciplined and wants us to be purposeful and intentional and to work very hard. And then, if you bless Israel, you'll be blessed.
Dude, thank
Great.
you. That was so good.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No, truly, I'm blessed. Thank you.
Honestly, that was a
Thank
great
you.
interview.
I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud to meet you.
Israeli optimism and Hashem's favor continue to drive remarkable innovation. Thanks to Michael for his perspective. Watch more interviews at cbnnews.com and download the CBN News app to stay connected with us. Also follow CBN News and Jerusalem Dateline on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes moments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you online.